السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي كان موجودا قبل حدوث الأشياء ويبقى بعد فناء الأشياء، تفرد بالأولية والقدم ووسم كل شيء ما عداه بالفناء والعدم، كما قال عز شأنه: كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه وكل نفس ذائقة الموت. وقال: كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنام، سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم. صلوات. So we'll continue inshallah our discussion on Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq. And as you remember that we are discussing every time one sentence of this very amazing dua of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, and in which he is teaching us the noble manners in form of supplication. Actually, this is a dua and it is a supplication. He is talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but through this dua he is actually teaching the nation, he is teaching the Muslims and every human being the noble ethics and manners. We reach to this sentence: وَتَرْكُ التَّعْيِيرُ. وَتَرْكُ التَّعْيِيرُ. Since we are discussing one single sentence, and many times the sentences in this dua contains just two words, so we can memorize it. Every week, if you memorize one sentence, I think is not a big deal. We can do that. وَتَرْكُ التَّعْيِيرُ. Ta'yir is from ar. Ar means shame. Means asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala: oh Allah, make me so great in my akhlaq that I should never make somebody feel ashamed of his character or his situation. Which means ta'yir, there are so many synonyms for that in English we can use, and many topics we can discuss under this ta'yir. Blaming somebody, rebuking someone, criticizing negatively, and condemning for no reason, blaming, all those things come under the word ta'yir. And also fault finding. You want to find the mistakes and faults of somebody and then mention it in front of him or in front of people, make him embarrassed after hearing that. So this is something that is happening in our society. It happens a lot, and we don't even realize that this is one of the sins, and not just a regular sin. Of course, there is no sin is regular. Every sin is a sin, but there are certain sins that are called major sins. This is one of the major sins, that you hurt somebody's feelings by making fun of him, mocking him, blaming him, criticize him, and just try to find his mistakes, his faults, and mentioning them in front of people to make him ashamed or embarrassed of his character. So this is not acceptable in Islam. Quran has many ayat on this issue. One of them is very famous, and you know it and you hear it from Surah Al-Hujurat, in which Allah says, "La yaskhar qawmin min qawmin." No nation should make fun of any other nation. Asa an yakunu khayran minhum. Why? Because if you make fun of someone, if you blame someone for his faults, you might have faults more than him, and he might be better than you, in fact, in the eyes of Allah. Asa an yakunu khayran minhu. He may be better than you, right? You're blaming someone. You are trying to rebuke someone for something, but you might be worse than him. And this happens most of the time, that you have a fault in yourself, and you forget your faults and start finding faults in other people. Or you blame someone for something, and you do it yourself, and you don't realize that, okay, you are blaming him, and you do it maybe more than him. So this is one of the things that destroys the relationship. And unfortunately, this is one of the sins which is very common in our society, in overall human society. I mean, when I say this, so you see, if it's, starting from home, blaming each other. If you criticize for something good, really, and your purpose is good, and your tone is good, this is more important thing. That's your tone, how you speaking to someone, to tell him his shortcomings. If you want to really fix those mistakes that somebody has, and want him to fix himself, for example, so this is very good. If you tell him his aib, his shortcoming, with this intention, this is great, this is good. But it depends on how you saying it. So we have hadith. Hadith says that anybody who advises someone, gives advice and admonishes someone in front of people, he actually humiliated him. But the same nasihat and same advice and admonishment is given in privacy, then he is actually really someone who showing his love and compassion towards him. So what you do, if you see really somebody has a mistake, or somebody is doing a mistake, you want to tell him that, brother, this is not good, or sister, this is not right. First of all, watch your tone, how you're saying it. If you're saying it in a tone that you want to blame, this is what you did, it's wrong. This is one way to saying, and one way is this. You know what? You did this, if you could do it this way. How about that? You said this, if you could say it this way. So your tone will tell that are you really sincere in your advice and your admonishment, or in your criticism, or you just want to condemn someone or blame someone, and your tone is that way, and your intention is that. So what will happen that the other side, the other person, of course, he's not going to stop. He's not going to listen to you and say, oh, it's okay. No, you say, what? You're telling me this, and you have this. Then the blame game starts from here. And you will reach to nowhere. This is happening. This happens. If you see, most of the conflict actually starts with blame, with criticism. Unfortunately, you know what? Let's talk about the relationship between husband and wife. The young people, when they get married, of course, young people get married, right? Yeah. Sometimes old people also have that wish. Nobody can stop that wish. MashaAllah. Many of you are, smiling with that wish. It's okay. No problem. But when they get married, they don't know what marriage is. They have just emotions for marriage. I want to get married. I want to get married. What will happen after you get married? And what is the purpose of your marriage? Quran is giving the purpose of marriage in one word. One single word. What is it? لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. Quran says the purpose of marriage, خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا, so that you get peace and tranquility in your relationship. The single purpose given by Quran for you is what? Sukoon. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So you get peace. All of you have peace, mashallah. The married people have good peace. And that's why it shows, I can tell from your faces how peaceful you feel in your marriage. Come on. You say, Maulana, what are you talking about? We have everything except peace. And the other day I was talking in a marriage, I said, we don't have peace, we have pieces. We turn into pieces now. Quran is saying something, we are doing something else. When Quran is saying the purpose is peace, it means, yes, we can achieve peace. Why not? But where is the peace? How we lose the peace? Allah gave us in the beginning. This is just an example, and it applies in all our relationships. Everywhere. Individual relationship, to people, to groups, to families, to communities, to nations, to countries, everywhere. It starts with your tongue. Tongue. If you don't control your tongue, here is the problem. And you start blaming other people. You want to show the other person that, see, this is your mistake. You did this wrong. You are wrong. Okay, fine. Now, either this is true that he or she is wrong, what you're saying is right, and she or he is wrong. Is this true or wrong? If this is true, so how you should say it? You should say that in such a way that you remove that mistake and protect him or her from that mistake or that fault or that shortcoming. You should be sincere with that. If this is wrong, that this is not just blaming, this is something is called buhtan. Is even a bigger sin, accusation of something that he or she doesn't have, and you saying, you did this, he didn't do it. You said it, he didn't say it. So be very careful in your conversations. Every wrong, and even the wars, world wars, if you go back to the history, they started with first conversation. They started with regular conversation, they became angry, this side, the other side, they started raising their voice more and more. Okay, then I will see you. And I will see you in the battlefield in the end. Battlefield. And battlefield did nothing. Every war ends with peace. Every war. In the end, there is no war. War never remains forever. It destroys both sides, and in the end, you have to come to the table and negotiation, or one will win and the other will lose, and no war anymore. So why don't you do it in the beginning? And if you want both of you really win, do the peace. What Quran says, وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. Subhanallah. Sulh is better. Yes, there are other options, but the sulh is the best. Peace is the best. So in conclusion, of course, see, you can just imagine how vast this topic is. Tarkut ta'yir. What we can talk about this in 20-25 minutes. But again, these are headlines. When you blame someone, or when you want to criticize someone, so you should know that your criticism, is it out of your anger or out of your love and compassion to somebody? It is totally different. If it is out of anger, stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. It is going to destroy you, destroy the other party. It will destroy both of you. Or if not now, it will destroy it in the future. So stop if it is out of anger. Control your anger. No blaming. No rebuking in a state of anger. Yes, you want to admonish someone. Why did you do this? You're not supposed to do it. This is, again, is not good tone. You could say, you know what, the other day you said this. I think you could do it the other way, say it the other way. And he said, yeah, you're right. See, this is the best way to do it. But if you want to just, your purpose is to expose someone in the community, in front of people, or even within yourself. No, you are wrong. When you have close relationship with someone, just like husband and wife, closest one, here, blame game you find the most. Why? Because both of them, they try to show themselves that they are right. I didn't do anything wrong. Then who did it? You. There is no third parties in between here coming to do this wrong. Either you did or me, but not me, you. And she said, no, you. And you, and you, and you, and you. See, criticism is of many kinds. Time is very short. Let me talk of two types of those criticism, that you criticize someone, or blame someone, or rebuke someone, admonish someone. All right? One, when you talk about a shortcoming that he has in his creation, anything you say, really he has that shortcoming, but it is not from him. It is what he is. One of those things is nowadays, in this time, our time, is depression, anxiety. Many people are suffering from that and they don't know. Now you want to point out this and say, you are sick. You are sick. Okay, if he or she is sick, then you should not be sick to talk to him this way. Talk to him like a sick person. But you want to just tease him and tell him that, no, you are sick, because you see, you're taking medicine. That's why you are doing this way. You're talking this way, because you are not in control of your mind. Such kind of talk not only will hurt his feelings, but also will make the situation worse for you, not for him. He is sick. Really, if he is sick, he is sick. But his depression will go up more because of your behavior. Unless you be careful. I'll give you a tip. If you really see somebody who is all the time with you, and he says something, does something that, ignites your anger. So what do you do? Make it as your habit and be prepared that he is going to say this. Today in the morning, he is going to say this 3 times. He's going to do something 4 times that I don't like at all. But prepare for that. 4 times he's going to do it for sure. Oh, mashallah, he didn't do it. He did it only 2 times. You will be happy for that. Take it easy. Prepare yourself from before, in advance. It's okay, he will do this. When you know somebody, let him do it. Don't respond to that. Don't react to that, because you know that this will happen. You know that this will happen. You know this. Oh, it is her habit. She always does. If it is her habit, you make your habit to tolerate. Criticizing, blaming, or using harsh words or condemning is not going to help you yourself. Leave alone the other person. So if someone has shortcoming in his nature, in his mind, in his body, then you need to be more careful. Why? Because you will be doing a bigger sin, bigger guna, by worsening his condition or her condition with your behavior. Okay? This is one. Why? Because this is not her fault, if not his fault, if he is in this condition. He needs help of people, of doctors, of anyone. When he needs help, help him. Help him in whatever manner you can. You should just be ready for that. Live with it. What do you call? Live with the situation. Learn how to live with it. Otherwise, you are a big sinner. Why? Because this situation is not her situation. Astaghfirullah, many people, use the words for someone who is handicapped, for example. For handicap, he doesn't have hand, there is a word for it. He doesn't have, or his leg is not working, he cannot walk correctly, there is a word for it. He cannot see there is a word for it. Correct? People reach to such a moral illness that they use those words in front of him and humiliate him for things that it is not in his control. He was born, for example, this way. Right? Don't do this. The other thing, so this is one kind of criticism that somebody has in his mind, in his body, in his creation, which is not in his control. The other is, it is in his control. It is in his behavior, not his mind. In his behavior, in his character. So, again, see, we have so many ahadith, and I, of course, don't have time to read them for you, a few of them. This hadith said, Man ayyara bishay'in buliya bihi. Whoever makes fun of someone, blames someone for something, or criticizes someone for something, someday he also will go through the same situation for what he is criticizing. Don't criticize someone. Be careful. Allah is watching. Allah is listening to you. Don't say you are this. Someday you will be the same as you are telling him that you are this. كفى بالمرء عيبا أن يعير الناس بما لا يستطيع تركه. Many times you are blaming someone for something that you do it. You yourself do it. And saying, you do this. This is wrong. Why you do this? And you doing it. There are so many examples I can give. And you might have in your mind. So Rasulullah says that this aib and shortcoming for a person is enough for him to be someone with shortcoming, that he points out the faults of others while the same fault he has it and he cannot leave it. You do the same thing and criticizing other people about it. Somebody came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. عليك بتقوى الله فإن امرأ عيرك بشيء يعلمه فيك فلا تعيره بشيء تعلمه فيك. He said, please, Ya Rasulullah, give me a short advice. He said, I know there is the whole Quran, your ahadith. Give me a short one. Rasulullah said, عليك بتقوى الله. Be pious and muttaqi. And if somebody criticizes you about something that really a shortcoming that you have, and he knows that shortcoming and he criticizes you, he mentions that shortcoming about you which you have, you don't react and don't mention the shortcomings that he has and you know. You have the shortcoming. It's not allegation, it's true. You have that shortcomings and he is mentioning it and he knows that. Now in reaction you don't do it. You also know about him something wrong. Don't mention it. Why? يَكُنْ وَبَالُهُ عَلَيْهِ وَأَجْرُهُ لَكَ. If you do this, the sin will be for him and the reward will be for you. What you want? Reward or sin? He said reward. That's it. Do this. I will stop here with this hadith of Mawla Amir al-Mu'mineen. Subhanallah. And this is a great tip for any kind of relationship. Any kind of relationship, especially husband and wife. Remember this hadith of Mawla. Al-ifratu fil malama yashubbu narul lajaja. Excessive admonishment. Why you do this? Why are you doing this? It is not right. You is wrong. You are wrong. All the time, just picking somebody's faults and mistakes. Al-ifrat, doing more, it will cause the fire of animosity more. It will cause animosity more. The fire of animosity will be ignited more by all the time criticizing. Even if you see that your friend or the other party, the other person really doing wrong, don't all the time say it. You don't need to. You did this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. All the time, just when you keep doing this ifrat, this will never make you happy in your life. If you want to be happy, let other person be happy too. Make him happy, you will be happy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to follow the teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam.